Since turning into a vampire, Quinn wasn't affected much by the sight of blood anymore. Even Peter eating Vordon's arm didn't bother him much. What surprised him was how well Vorden was handling it. While they were busy cleaning up, Quinn had the chance to ask the system some questions, because right now he had a lot of them. "Do you know how long Peter will be required to eat human flesh?" Quinn asked. "Well, for once I have some good news for you. Peter is the type of ghoul that needs to be fed daily," the system responded. "If that is good news, you have some sick sense of humor," Quinn thought. "Just wait, young one. The ones that require food more often quickly get stronger. If you carry on feeding Peter for a week, then by the end of it, he should evolve." In the middle of their conversation, a notification screen popped up. "New quest received. Make your family stronger. 2 out of 7 feed your ghoul, Peter, 7 different types of human flesh. Reward? Family member evolution." "Well, will you look at that? It looks like my hunch was right," the system said. Quinn found the words of the system strange. Was he not in charge of everything? Until this point, he thought that AI and the systems were the same things, but that didn't seem to be the case. "I thought you made the quests," Quinn asked. "Me?" the system replied. "I see why you would think so. I was designed after the original owner, the person whose idea was to create the system. My thoughts, my actions, everything is based around him. However, the system itself was created by someone else, and before you ask, the man often changed names throughout time, so even if I told you his name, you wouldn't know who he is." Since there wasn't much Quinn could do about the system for now, and it wasn't a problem, he decided to focus on the other matter. Looking at the quest, he noticed something that would cause them even more problems. The quest stated that they would need 7 different types of human flesh. Just like Quinn with his blood, he would only get stronger when consuming a new person's blood. The same could be said for Peter, who would have to consume different types of flesh. "If, and I mean a big if," Quinn said, "if we carry on using Vorden, will it still suppress his hunger?" "Yes, although he won't be able to evolve as quickly." Looking at Vorden's stump, it had now grown back to the point where it was just starting to form the wrist. He hated the fact that he had to rely on Vorden, and using him would only be delaying the inevitable. Right now he needed to find a solution as fast as possible. While these thoughts ran through his mind, he remembered the fight he had with Fex. Just before they left, he said, "If he needs any help, he can seek him out." Quinn had no idea if he could trust him or not, and if the two of them got into a fight again, he knew in his current state he would lose. Although Quinn didn't get hurt during the fight, he also wasn't able to land a single blow, and it looked like the number of skills Fex had surpassed his own. The only thing Quinn had that could give him an advantage was his shadow ability. However, at the same time, he still hadn't seen what Fex's ability was, or if he even had one. But with no plans of his own and no guidance from the system, who else could he go to ask for help? He wouldn't be able to attack them while they were in the school. Vampires were a secret to the world, and he was sure Fex would want to keep it that way as well. It was a risk, but he would have to confront Fex and ask for his help. The 2-day rest period was over, and students were now required to go back to classes as usual. Vorden, Peter, and Quinn didn't feel like they had rested at all. Over the last few days, they had experienced one high-tense situation after another. In the morning, Quinn and Peter didn't go down to the canteen for breakfast. They had decided to stay in their dorm room. While Vorden still had the regenerative ability, he had decided to cut off another one of his limbs, but Vorden looked scared about cutting off his body part again. At first, Quinn was against him doing it again, but Vorden had convinced him it was necessary to make sure Peter wouldn't go crazy with hunger again today. When Quinn had finally agreed, they decided to cut off a bigger limb, because it would give Peter more meat to feed on. Eventually, they chose to cut off one of Vorden's legs. Quinn couldn't bear for Vorden to go through so much pain again. That's why he offered to help. With his greater strength, he was able to cut through the entire leg in one clean stroke. It took Quinn some time to mentally prepare for it, but he finally convinced himself that it would mean less pain for Vorden, which gave him the resolve he needed to do it. Vorden looked scared when Quinn was about to cut his limb off, but all of a sudden his facial expression changed. Instead of fear, it now showed anger. Vorden shouted at Quinn, "Just do it, you little..." After eating human flesh for 2 days in a row, it seemed like normal raw meat was no longer an option for Peter. When he tried to eat it, he immediately threw it back up, like his body was rejecting the raw animal meat. From now on, Peter would only be able to eat raw human flesh. Quinn was quite upset about this because he didn't want to see Vorden go through this painful process again. Quinn now wanted Peter to evolve as soon as possible, as hopefully this would help with Peter's dietary problems. After Vorden went down to the canteen to eat, Peter was looking at the black bag with Vorden's leg in it. He couldn't stop himself from drooling, and his saliva was dripping out of his mouth and falling onto the floor. "Are you going to eat that or what? Don't let Vorden's sacrifice go to waste," Quinn said while holding a glass of Vorden's blood in his hand. They had collected it after cutting Vorden's arm off. It would have been a shame to let it go to waste. Quinn swirled the blood around in the glass before he drank it all in one big gulp. It tasted nice and sweet, and when he was finished drinking, he had a smile on his face. "How do you do it?" Peter asked with awe and horror on his face. "How can you be so calm about it all? How do you deal with this sudden change so easily?" "Trust me on this one, Peter. At first I didn't," Quinn replied, looking pensive. "Think of it this way. Everyone has multiple sides that they show to people. They are different with their family members compared to their friends, and they are different with their girlfriends compared to their family and friends. But does that mean those other sides don't exist when they are with different people? We choose to show people which side of us we want them to see. This way different people will form different opinions of us. I was scared too, but I chose not to show it to others. I was also very lucky that I found someone who helped me deal with everything." As he was saying this to Peter, his mind had immediately gone to Layla. Like he told Peter, he was extremely lucky that she was the first person who found out about his secret. Since she found out, she had been nothing but supportive. She also helped him learn a lot about being a vampire. He wondered how different things might have been if it wasn't for her. While Quinn was talking to him, Peter had been trying to hold back from eating the leg that was in front of him. However, he could no longer stop himself. As Peter started chomping down on Vorden's leg, Quinn turned around to look away. Even though it didn't bother him much, it still felt wrong to him looking at one friend eating another friend's leg. Quinn also realized he thought of Peter as a friend again. He suspected the strange bond between them might have something to do with this. When Vorden was done with breakfast, he had returned to the dorm room to collect Peter. He knocked on the door and asked Peter to come out. He didn't go in because he didn't want to see Peter eating his leg. Because the 2 days of rest were over, every student was required to start training in their combat classes again. Peter was still registered in the elemental ability class. He was currently known as an Earth user, and Vorden had a feeling that Duke was keeping an eye on him. After Peter had told them that Duke had gifted him with the level 2, 3, and 4 Earth ability books, Vorden was puzzled by this. He couldn't understand why Duke had given Peter those books. The only thing they knew was that for whatever reason, Duke wanted Peter to become a level 4 Earth ability user. The three of them split up. Peter and Vorden went to the elemental class, while Quinn went to his combat class.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.